Caitlin Clark's new Kobe PE shoe sold out in less than a minute. And I saw so many tweets about this, so many people who were so sad that they've missed out on this shoe. I saw that there was this one Dick's store and people were lined up around the corner, like camping out, trying to get this.
Nike may have just made its biggest marketing mistake in years. And Aya Wilson isn't staying quiet about it. After heavily investing in building Wilson's brand and putting her at the center of major campaigns, Nike seemed to ignore the obvious. Caitlin Clark was dominating headlines, selling out arenas, and going viral over the simplest moments, even tying her shoes. Now, after months of falling behind the hype, Nike is finally waking up. But to many, including Wilson, it feels like too little, too late.
Nike finally delivers Caitlin Clark PE. Is this the first Caitlin Clark exclusive Nike commercial since she's entered the WNBA? I know she's made a cameo here. She's made a cameo there. She was featured as part of this rollout here, featured as part of this rollout there. But is this our first official Caitlin Clark solo commercial?
Nike's finally facing the music. After years of putting all their money behind the wrong star, reality just hit them hard. Now, they're shifting gears, focusing on the athlete who's actually moving the needle. Caitlin Clark isn't just making headlines. She's boosting sales, driving traffic, and breaking the internet every time she steps on the court. Meanwhile, Aya Wilson isn't happy, and she's making sure everyone knows it. Her frustration isn't just about shoes. It's about watching Nike admit out loud that they backed the wrong name for years. Let's be real. Clark's presence alone sends fans into a frenzy and crashes websites faster than your uncle trying to stream a game on dial-up. If you're Team Caitlin, drop a baby goat in the comments. Let's keep it rolling.
Caitlin, and was thought to be a colorway made just for her up until just a couple days ago, where Nike's official images of the shoes got leaked and the announcement was made saying that everyone will now have a chance to wear.
Caitlin Clark had fans buzzing with a new Nike sneaker that looked like it was made just for her. For a while, everyone thought it was a special edition created exclusively for Caitlin. But just a few days ago, official images from Nike were leaked. And then came the big news. The shoes aren't just for her anymore. Nike announced that everyone will now have the chance to wear her signature look.
Well, I don't think I'd be in the wrong to say Caitlin Clark's Kobe is the sneaker of the week, and everyone's focus is mostly on this one. If you really wanted that shoe, I hope you put your footwork in, because there's supposedly only 13,000 pairs of sneakers out tomorrow. Combine that with a really high resale value, I expect this shoe to be a relatively difficult comp. But my hope seriously is that with Caitlin Clark's sneaker coming out, that this sets a precedent and we might see other exclusive player edition Kobe's drop from the public.
Let's take a look at the numbers. Because numbers don't lie. Aya Wilson's shoe launch came a lot of buzz. But according to reports, there's still plenty of stock sitting on shelves. In fact, some say it's likely headed for the clearance section soon. Now compare that to Caitlin Clark. Before she even has her own signature shoe, she teamed up with Nike for a special Kobe release, and it sold out fast. We're talking 13,000 pairs gone in just 60 seconds. Not 5 minutes. Not 10. 1 minute. That wasn't just a launch. It was a stampede.
These things is some fire. I'm telling you, where there's smoke, there is fire, and these things is hitting so hard. And who got a bot? Who a shoe plug? Because I need 2 pairs. I need one for the sneaker wall, and I need one for my feet, because these things is hidden right here, and no, I don't want to pay $600 on Go.
Now here's... When Caitlin Clark's gear dropped, Nike's website didn't just slow down. It nearly crashed. Within minutes, resale sites were flooded, with prices jumping from $350 to as high as $600. It felt less like a product launch and more like Black Friday in overdrive. Meanwhile, Aya Wilson's line, it's barely moving. Stock is sitting untouched and quietly slipping into the clearance section without much fanfare.
You could lace up.
I lost all respect for Agent Wilson. I don't want to hear her opinions. I don't care what she has to say from this point on. When you keep a Nike deal 2 years in secret while you're spewing all that crazy stuff about Caitlin Clark in the Time magazine, read it. Read what she said in the Time magazine. Yet you had a Nike deal the whole entire time.
Now here's where it gets interesting. Nike spent 2 full years building Aya Wilson's signature shoe from the ground up. They didn't hold back. She got the VIP treatment. Custom logos, unique designs, and personal details were added at every step. They included Celtic symbols to honor her parents. And even her grandmother's favorite quotes were printed on the sole. It wasn't just a basketball shoe. It was a tribute to her family. Almost like a personal scrapbook you could wear on the court.
So it's finally here. Caitlin Clark sneakers from Nike is finally dropping. She was signed to them last year, and the sneakers is a year late in my opinion, but nonetheless I'm excited because these sneakers is finally coming out. But what does annoy me a little bit is that this is a collaboration with Kobe. Now, Kobe, respect to Kobe, the legend, rest in peace, great basketball player. But in my opinion, Caitlin Clark is a big enough star and she's creating her own legacy. So I feel like, at least for her first sneaker, it shouldn't be a collaboration with any other player, dead or alive, in my opinion. I feel like Caitlin should have, for her first shoe, had her own original design just for her.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark is still wearing reworked Kobe sneakers. No personal logo, no custom design, no official signature line, at least not yet. And still, those shoes are outselling Aya Wilson's carefully crafted signature line by a wide margin. Nike gave Wilson everything. Custom features, personal touches, the full rollout. Yet Clark shows up in a pair of updated classics, and the internet loses its mind. It's almost sad. Almost.
And being awesome at basketball.
And all this was done while the shoe's being developed, while the collection's being done. To demonize Caitlin Clark and try to label her as a privileged white girl that's getting all the privileges, even though she earned everything she got. This ain't about color. This is about good and bad. And I find this a little evil. I find this evil. This is beyond bad, because you had the ability to speak up and say, hey, everybody, relax. Don't get on Caitlin Clark. She got a shoe deal. That's cool. I got one too. Mine's taking a little bit, but it's going to come out. Just be patient. She could have came out and said that, but she didn't.
The best part?
Here's the kicker. Nike went all in on Aya Wilson. They gave her a contract worth over $20 million, built entire ad campaigns around her, and tried to position her as the underdog turned superstar. It was a full production. Stylists, scripts, photo shoots, you name it. But then there's Caitlin Clark. She signs an 8-year, $28 million deal and instantly becomes Nike's top female athlete without the extra push. No big campaign rollouts. No choreographed promos. Just Caitlin being Caitlin. Every time she steps on the court wearing Nike gear, it's like a free commercial. Millions watching, talking, and buying. She doesn't need a script. She just plays and the sales follow.
Nike just released a brand new commercial featuring Caitlin Clark and her new Kobe shoe that she released today. And I saw this commercial yesterday on social media. I thought it was so cool. There's a shot when she's in the locker room and she opens her eye and it like turns into what looks like a snake eye. But when you zoom in, it's actually the Kobe look.
Now let's talk real numbers, because this is where Aya Wilson's story hits a wall. Caitlin Clark, at just 23 years old, brought in an estimated $82 million to the state of Iowa. Yes, you heard that right. $82 million. One young woman from West Des Moines completely rewrote NCAA history and turned her local impact into a national movement. Her reach isn't just big, it's massive. We're talking once-in-a-generation influence, a cultural shift. And while that was happening, Nike seemed to miss the moment. They were so focused on pushing a polished narrative with Wilson, they overlooked the real star right in front of them, the female Michael Jordan of this era. The signs were there from the beginning, loud, clear, and impossible to miss. But Nike, they were too busy following a checklist to notice the future of their brand was already lighting up the court.
Penix on it. Lays it in on a delectable dime for Caitlin Clark.
Even Jordan Rogers, Nike's former head of basketball marketing, spoke out, and he didn't hold back. He basically said, "Nice job, folks. You nearly let your biggest star walk away." While Nike was busy pushing a brand story no one was connecting with, their stock dropped to a 5-year low, instead of getting behind Caitlin Clark. The player everyone's actually watching, they tried to force excitement around Aya Wilson. It felt fake. Fans weren't buying it. They missed the wave, and instead of riding real momentum, they were stuck trying to make something happen that just wasn't there.
Price since 2021, it is down nearly 60%. Your executives and the people who are making these decisions, their stock options are worthless. Meanwhile, you have the single biggest needle mover in all of American sports since Michael Jordan, and you have somehow convinced yourself that you need to slow play this. Let me show you Google Trends search traffic for 4 female basketball players. There is one who only rivals Caitlin Clark, and that is Ainsley Reese, and you do not have her. She is over at Reebok. I am so confused as to how you would be so invested in the WNBA for several years, and you have been doing great work to try to elevate and uplift that league and many of the athletes there. But this seems like you have convinced yourself that this needs to be an either-or conversation. And we never have an either-or conversation in the men's sports. You have like 10 signature athletes. Half of them don't deserve a signature.
Now, suddenly, Nike's finally waking up. Caitlin Clark's Kobe drop goes live, and the internet doesn't just slow down, it crashes. Total chaos. Meanwhile, Aya Wilson is watching all this from the sidelines. After months of planning, photo shoots, influencer events, and PR tours, her signature shoe barely made a dent. Then here comes Clark. She quietly posts a photo, doesn't even promote it much. And just like that, people are lining up like it's the last PS5 on the planet. The difference? It's obvious. Wilson needs a full campaign to move shoes. Clark? She just needs to exist. And here's what's really frustrating for Wilson. Nike is finally admitting what fans have known for a long time. Clark doesn't just sell sneakers. She sells excitement. She sells belief. She makes people feel like they can hit those deep threes too. The public has spoken with their wallets. Caitlin Clark is the future. And Aya Wilson? She's stuck trying to hold on to the spotlight while it quietly fades.
You finally put her in a Super Bowl campaign with 9 other women, and all respect to them, but none of them are moving the needle quite like she is. Your tagline in that was "You can't win, so win." One of the best explanations I can come up with is that you are wringing your hands and afraid to enter into this politically divisive conversation that has been co-opted by the media and pundits who are race baiting and doing all kinds of ridiculous things around women's basketball. You can't win, so win. You have the unicorn, the chosen one, the one who everyone wants to hear from, and you were just sitting around. Gatorade, State Farm, Game Bridge, Wilson Basketball have all figured out how to have a point of view with Caitlin Clark. Please, for the love of God, figure something out.
Nike spent millions trying to turn Aya Wilson into the face of the league. They planned every detail, every ad, every post, hoping to build a superstar from the ground up. Clark is more than a player. She's a cultural force. She connects with everyone, no matter their age, where they're from, or how long they follow the sport. Wilson's potential was always solid, but we could see her limit. With Clark, we haven't even seen her peak yet. And the momentum? It's only getting bigger. Nike's finally backing the right athlete. And while Wilson continues to tweet about not getting enough respect, Clark's impact speaks for itself. Sold out sneakers, website crashes, and fans showing up in record numbers. Rewriting with Caitlin Drop Baby Goat in the comments. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a moment.